Okay. Just doing a little bit of a fun live stream here. Let me
Just
make
doing
sure that I'm
a
not
little bit
needlessly listening to my own video here. But basically, what I wanted to do is today I was hacking on these little like notification examples for Tailwind UI, and a couple people asked on Twitter if I was planning to show how you could do like a stream of these, where maybe like another one comes in and this one kind of moves down and another one slides over top, that sort of thing. So I thought it would be cool to try and figure that out, because I have some general ideas of how maybe we could do it, but I don't have any kind of pre-figured out perfect approach. So yeah, let me know if anything happens weird with the stream. Still getting used to some new software here, but otherwise, let's just kind of do some hacking around. So I created a Vue CLI app so we can just kind of hack it out quickly with Vue. I haven't done anything else otherwise. So I actually did install Tailwind UI plugin and auto prefixer. So let's just get that stuff set up and see where we get. So I think I'm just going to let's just clear out some of this junk here. Tailwind notifications. So we'll make a post CSS config and create a Tailwind config file. So we've got a couple plugins here. We're going to have Tailwind CSS and auto prefixer. And then in our Tailwind config, I'm just going to pull in the Tailwind UI plugin so we have all the stuff we need for that. So I guess let's start a server for this. What is that with VCLI? Is it yarn serve? Smack my tongue a lot? That's fine. Doesn't bother me. All right, so here we go. Let me remember how I normally set this up. I think the easiest thing to do is just create like a CSS file. Let me look at something for a second. Tailwind Playground. Tailwind View, GitHub. Or let's see, Designing with Tailwind, GitHub. I have like the Tailwind course thing on here, and if I remember right, I have this kind of set up in a sane way. So we have assets, tailwind.css, and then just by importing that ends up being fine. Okay, that's what I thought. So Tailwind base, Tailwind components, Tailwind utilities. And we don't need this logo. And then we'll just do this little import down here and delete this stuff. And with any luck, we should see like something Tailwind-ish now after we get rid of some of this crap. We'll just start like more basic here. Let's just see, does this look like Tailwind? Yeah, that looks like the right font and stuff to me. Should be like the system font. Yeah, we got all our Tailwind styles here. Okay, so we're in good shape. All right, so let's think about how we're even going to do this. Again, I have not thought about this at all. So what I'm going to do to start, though, is I'm going to grab this notification component from Tailwind UI that I was working on, and maybe we'll just stick it right in our app component just to start, and we'll translate this to Vue at some point, but it kind of is like mostly working. We're missing an icon. We can just kind of grab any icon, I think. Let's grab like one of these like check mark icons. I think that's what it was. Yeah. We have like our own little templating language inside of like the Tailwind UI code base, so that when we are referencing icons and stuff, we don't have to just duplicate the SVGs all the time. Okay, and then same thing, I think we had like a solid close icon X. Close X. I think it's just called X. Alright, so W5, H5. And obviously it's like going to be broken because like Alpine is what we ship with, just to kind of let you see what you're even supposed to do. So we got to translate this to Vue and make it all work. And because we're going to try and do this in a real way, some of this stuff is going to be different than it would be in these little junky Alpine demos anyways. Like you can see, we even do stuff like this in the Alpine demo, just like every 1 second, just re-show the notification after you clear it. So purely just like for demonstration purposes. Okay, so I think in my head, the way that I imagine us wanting to make this work is we have maybe just like some button on the screen that we can click that just like feeds a new notification into some array somewhere. And it doesn't have to be like a real app, right? Like we're not going to like wire up real notifications, but we just need something to simulate like a new notification coming in on demand, so we can kind of funnel them into this like list of notifications and see what happens. So that's what we're going to try and do. I'm going to add a couple classes to the body here, so we have some decent defaults. And let's just do like maybe on the HTML element, we'll do like BG gray 100 or something like that. Okay, cool. So I think what we'll do is let's start by maybe putting like a div over here with like a button in it that has like notify. And maybe we'll make it like a cool Tailwind UI button. Buttons. Grab like this button. There we go. Got a nice little button. Notify. Oh, I hate the way that they want me to style that. That's depressing. Let's just do like some padding around this so that, yeah. And just to make sure that it's working, let's just add an event handler here. Notify. Console.log. Notified. Oops. Well, let's put this at the bottom. And pull up the console. And notify. All right. Yeah, okay. So we got like something a little bit wired up here. And I think what we'll do is move this notification to a component. So maybe we'll just like make a new file here called notification.view. And we'll grab, now if you look at the markup for this, there is a couple things to kind of notice. There's this wrapper element, which is this giant div. If you look at the actual thing here, you'll see this is like a wrapper for the whole screen. That's kind of like the fixed position notification canvas. And I've built it this way so that we just have some consistency in the implementation, regardless of whether you want the notification to be in the top corner, on the left, the right, the bottom, whatever. It's got pointer events none, so that doesn't impact anything, even though it's sitting on top of everything. And what we're going to do here, I think, is this wrapper, we're not going to duplicate it for every notification, right? It's just kind of like the home for the notifications. So I think we're going to make each notification kind of exist in one version of this wrapper. So I think what I'm going to do to start is just grab, where's the closing div for this? Just grab the inner stuff and move that to a notification component. We'll get rid of the style stuff. I don't write styles anymore. And let's just drop it in here. Import notification from /components/notification. Let's just kind of get things broken up and see if they're working. All right, so we still have like our notification there, so that's good. And I think what we're going to want to do is basically we want to like do something like in the most simplest way, v4 notification in notifications and data we're just gonna have like a notifications array here, and I think if we just do something like this dot notifications dot push, we'll just stick like an empty object in there. Custom elements. Is this new that it's like totally required? I feel like that didn't used to be like required. So I guess we'll just do a key binding on the index just to kind of silence it. Do you have to do like this syntax or something? Okay. All right, so like this is broken, right? But it's like something. All right. There's not going to be any Alpine by the time we're done. This is just going to be Vue. I do not recommend mixing CSS frameworks like that or JavaScript frameworks. All right, so we're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking to get this to work, which is interesting, right? Because that's kind of the whole point here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a div here, and we're going to move some styles out. So the styles that we had here, I have this like max width, SM width full thing. That needs to go here because this is going to apply to every notification. And hopefully that'll make them like stack on top of each other at least now. Yeah. Okay, so we're also going to want to do like some space between them. So in like the simplest kind of way, this would just be like I greater than 0, MT4, otherwise nothing sort of thing. Right? So that's fine. But we don't want those notifications to live there forever, and we want them to kind of animate in too, right? So why don't we just work on getting the animations to work first? I think this is going to be like fairly complicated to make this work, but it should be kind of fun. So I think we can get rid of this and this. The X show is not going to really be anything. This is going to be interesting. Probably this is going to be like emitting an event back to the parent. And now this X transition stuff, we need to kind of move that into a transition element since we're doing Vue here. And it's pretty straightforward to translate this stuff. Basically, if we take all this stuff, stick it here, and change this to basically nothing. This becomes, I think, enter active class. This becomes enter class. This becomes enter to class. This becomes leave active class. This becomes leave class. This becomes leave to class. And I think we have to add the appear property to this too, maybe. All right. All right, so that kind of looks correct. All right. So this is where it's going to get interesting because we have to think about how we want things to work. So the way that I see this working in my head is when we add a second one, this one has to first like slide down, and then the next one has to kind of slide in. So this is actually, the more I think about this, the harder it seems like it's going to be, because the amount that we have to slide down has to be based on the height of the incoming notification. And they can be different, right? Like if this text wraps, this notification is going to be longer or taller than the other one. Transition group. True. Let's look at that for a second. Transition group view. I always kind of forget about the transition group, but it does kind of seem like it would be helpful in this case. Yeah, this is probably actually exactly what we want. Okay, let's check out how this generally works again. So you have a transition group, and then we probably are going to have okay. Let's try this. Let's move this transition out. Wrap it here. Call it a transition group. We might not need a peer. I kind of forgot about this. I'm kind of excited. This will probably make things way easier. And then let's just look at the API for this, because we probably have to use some stuff that is not like the normal stuff, because I like to do everything with utilities. Okay, so let's make this like a div, I guess. I don't know if we let's just see what this even does right now. So it's still like generally working. Okay, so I saw something here, because this is kind of similar, right? Like we want the hard part in my head is trying to think about how to do the translate down. So I'm trying to think like what API view is even going to expose for that. Okay, vmove. So what does vmove apply to? Items are changing positions. But it's only applied when they're changing positions. Like I almost need to add a we need like some way to basically say when a new element is added, we need to have like an index that we're keeping track of, and we need to translate it by like some height multiplied by that index. That's at least like the simple way in my head. Like if all these notifications were the same height, which they won't be, but if they were, then we could do it just based on that. I agree, like a flip animation is the best way to do it. long term because we figure out where it's supposed to go. But Vue is supposed to kind of do some of that for you. So I'm trying to think in the context of the Vue API of how to do that. So like all this stuff is already like moving, right? Now the thing I'm confused about is I don't think this is documented fully. Like there must be some classes applied to this stuff. So is Vue doing the translate for us? Like the flip list move class is doing what? It's just adding transform, but I don't see what's being transformed. Like I don't know. I guess why don't we just see, like, out of curiosity, if we added this like exact class to our Tailwind CSS file, which I guess I already have this, right? I can just say like transition duration 1000. Let's just try that. Transition, or sorry, we need to do move class equals transition duration 1000. Like, what is this even going to do? Nothing. Now, it might be because things are being added to the bottom. But we probably also need keys for this stuff. Okay. Let's do something like really stupid for a second. And we'll just do like a push ID this dot count. And then we'll say this dot count plus plus. And then at least we can do like a notification dot ID for the key. And this isn't going to change anything so far, but if we flip the list, so if we do like computed, and then we say like sorted notifications, we can just say like return what's the is there a way to reverse a list without mutating it? I think this, right? Dot 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 list dot reverse. So now, like, still not doing what I would expect. Let's pass in a prop of ID and make sure that we accept that prop and can render it out, so we can even see which notification is which. So let's just render the ID right here. Okay, and then in here, I guess we need to use the sorted notifications. All right, things are getting interesting now. Okay. So I think what we want to do is do like the staggered transitions. I'm surprised that that was literally that easy. So I guess it's like just got the transform stuff built into it. That's so crazy. So where's the staggered? This is Is this not doing what I expect? This seems like a weird thing to even document because it doesn't seem like they're using any view features to do this at all. Like, they're using pure JavaScript animations to do all of it. So I'm wondering if I'm missing something. This doesn't even look staggered to me. I guess it kind of is. Yeah, okay. I thought staggered transitions were more of a first-class thing in Vue for some reason. Maybe I've just never done it. All right, so let's look at what they're doing here. So we're doing a CSS false, and then we're saying before enter, enter, leave. What are you saying? List complete demo. List complete demo. Okay. This isn't like a staggered thing though. I think what I actually, maybe the simplest way to do this is just using a transition delay on enter active. So see how on move we're spending like 1,000 milliseconds to move it or whatever? I think if we just did like a delay 1,000 here, which doesn't exist, but let's just add it for fun. Maybe that's actually all we need to do. Transition delay 1,000 milliseconds. I wonder if that'll be enough. So that's like looks kind of stupid, right? But it kind of is what we wanted. Problem is I only want to add it like, I don't want to add it to the first one. It's only like when we're moving stuff. So it's almost like I need to I wonder if I could do a dynamic binding on this. Does that work? Where I could say enter active class if sorted notifications dot length is greater than 1. Or is, yeah, let's try this. This probably, I don't know if this will work, and like we could obviously simplify this. I'm just gonna try like the really dumb way to start. So if it's greater than the 1, then we want to delay. If not, then we don't. And we can probably change this delay too. I wonder if Vue lets you do stuff this way. Okay, so that instantly. Okay, so we probably don't need to wait that whole period. I think we could probably do like I don't know. Let's just add a few. Like, what are the durations in Tailwind? I don't know. They're like 700, 500, 300. So let's just try adding like things to match that and see if we can make something that just kind of feels nice. We'll just kind of add all of them, I guess. So we'll do 75, 100, 150, I think. And then I think it goes 200, 300, 500. All right, what happens now? Okay, so let's change this delay. Let's change this delay to be like 700, kind of the next shortest one. I don't want it to look like things are like overlapping, right? That would kind of suck. We can probably go shorter. looks a little funky. It still feels weird, like it feels like kind of delayed to me. It's almost like you want this element to translate kind of down and over at the same time. I don't know. What's another way to... If we do it too fast, like they're going to overlap, you know? Like that looks weird. It looks weird that this gap is kind of like growing to me. What is like what does this app do? On this landing page, how do they do that? What's their animation look like? So they actually wait for the whole thing to be done. And I don't know that it looks amazing, but something. Maybe let's make this like move duration shorter. Maybe if we just make everything shorter, is that better? Maybe if this is like 500. This is probably the version I hate the least so far. But it still doesn't feel like amazing to me. I'm not sure why. Something about it just kind of feels like wrong. I wonder what Apple does when they have lots of notifications coming in. I'll have to like study that and check it out. But anyways, this is kind of like generally what we were trying to figure out, right? More like the overall approach. And so I'm surprised, well, not surprised, but the transition group makes it like incredibly easy, which is kind of nice. So this will probably be really hard to do in without Vue, and I think React has a transition group too that probably does the same stuff. And I'm glad that we were able to kind of solve this just using a delay instead of having to do some JavaScript stuff. Like JavaScript stuff would be fine too, but obviously it's easier if we don't have to think about that stuff. Yeah, this is actually not that bad now that I look at it again. And yeah. I wonder, so we're not actually triggering any of these leave classes right now. We could say like, how do you do like, JavaScript array slice? Say we only wanted to keep like the first 4 notifications or something. So you could slice from 0 to 4, something like that. I wonder if Vue is going to be like smart about what it does here. It's pretty cool. So that's actually making me notice that we don't have anything. We don't have an easing curve on the this one. Yeah, what do you think of that? That's pretty cool. So they kind of fade out as they get pushed off the screen. Pretty neat. Pretty good. Pretty good. If we wanted to make these dismiss icons work, that would probably be a little bit of work. You know what I hate? And this is like a problem that I face with Vue a lot. It's not really Vue's fault, but it is just an annoying JavaScript thing. when you want to splice an element out of an array that is kind of in the middle, like you have to like find it based on its ID and then splice it out. I guess like probably Lodash makes that easier, right? Like say we I think there's like a Lodash accept or something, or without, and then takes a predicate. No, it doesn't. I thought there was like a... Am I really dense? I swear there was like a Lodash function that just let you get an array without elements that match. I guess it would just be filter. Yeah. Okay, so we could just say... Let's try it. Let's do at click equals $emit remove, and we'll just do ID, and then on we'll say at remove equals remove notification. What do we have to do here? I think we can just do this. And then we can just say remove notification ID this dot notifications equals this dot notifications dot filter and dot ID does not equal ID. Is this going to work? What have we done here? Oh, quadruple equal. I want it to really, really be sure. So is it being... It's not perfectly smooth. Something... It kind of just deletes them right away. So there's probably a better way to do that. And probably there's like a smart way that we can make these like all time out after a certain period of time too. We could probably do that like here, like maybe after 3 seconds we let's just make the notification here. We'll just say this dot remove notification dot ID. I wonder if that'll just go away on its own. They remove really fast when they do it that way. Like it's what we said, but it just feels fast. Maybe we can just like make it take 500 seconds, 500 milliseconds. I don't know. That's better. There's some weirdness going on still for sure. And this still is weird. Like when you remove something, the previous ones kind of jump up in a weird way. Yeah, the splice thing will work in this case since the ID, I guess, is the index. But it's actually not even the index. It's only the index until the elements have been cleared out. So, I don't know. I think we'd have to fine-tune this a little bit if we really wanted to make it like super flawless in every single way, because there's a couple things that don't seem smooth about it that are probably just due to a not totally understanding all the fine details of how the staggered animations and funky stuff like that works with the transition group. But this is still pretty cool. Still feels like we did some neat stuff here today. Someone's asking font settings. This is not operator mono. This is just Menlo, just like the default macOS font. I don't know. I don't really change much here. I made the font a little bigger and the line height a little taller, but that's it. But yeah, anyways, that seems pretty cool. So that's probably all I'm going to do because I got to go walk my dog. But I thought it'd be fun to just kind of play with this a little bit and see where we could get. It's weird how when the new ones enter, it's kind of like jumpy and like sometimes things just reappear at the bottom randomly. I don't know what's to blame there. But anyways, pretty neat. Maybe if I have some time, I'll clean this demo up a little bit and make it not as shitty and throw it on GitHub so people can play with it. But that is, yeah, fun stuff. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, or at least had a good time. And maybe I'll do another stream another time soon. I want to do more of these. So thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you next time.